All right, the last few items for this. Copyright symbol, that was your challenge before the last video. We're gonna do that first, and then we're gonna move some stuff up into our main section. And then we're also going to look at how a stylization can apply to everything inside a box. So first things first, copyright symbol. Beautiful Google, right? I look up copyright symbol, code, HTML, and you're going to find it. Like, it's going to be one of the first things that pops up. If you didn't know this, there's HTML symbols. You can have like the registered sign, the euro sign, the trademark. And if we click this, there's actually a ton more. There's actually like hundreds, but these are the basic ones that people tend to use a lot. So we have those as an availability. You've got some, some math references, some Greek characters, arrows, those kinds of things, all symbols. But when you do it, you have a number and then you have an entity. The entity is the HTML code. So you can see all of them begin with an ampersand. So we want this ampersand copy semicolon. So I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to go over to my layout and I'm just going to go before the word copy right here and I'm going to paste it. And when you put that in there, you're going to see that it pops in. Now, even though it says unexpected error, it is still going to work and give you a copyright symbol. So that is an option for you to be able to do. I wonder, I don't know if they've updated it with HTML5, so we're going to test it real quick while we're in the middle of this video. But you can bring in even the C and it'll do it as well. Because nowadays, I don't know if you've noticed, but like symbols tend to be a lot different than they used to be back 10 years ago. We now have emojis that we can use, right? So there's lots of things that you can bring in and it's coded in the background. So we could even bring in just the C, or you can bring in this and copy. But if you really want to use the HTML code for it, this is the HTML code for the copy sign. And the reason I say that is because some people use older internet browsers, right? They never updated their computer, usually grandmas and grandpas, and they have these old computers that have not been updated, and this will work on even older computers. So something to just kind of keep in mind. The next thing I want to do is I want to take this div box. I want to take this div that's on line 5 after our footer, and I want it in the main content. So see if you can do that. Pause the video here. Can you get this in the main content section, the main? And can you make it be existing right after the text? It's super simple. What you can actually do, and you'll find this in a lot of programs, whether it's Word or Google Docs or PowerPoint or Dreamweaver or even here, coding. I can select this text, so I can click and drag to select the text. And then I can literally, while it's selected, click and drag it. And you'll see I'll get this little line that pops up wherever I'm dragging it. And whenever I drop it, and let go of my click and that line is there, it's going to drop it right where my line was. And then you're going to see that box will automatically pop up and be in the main content section. Now, when we begin coding, something that's important is kind of organizing your information. So I'm going to take the div and I'm going to hit enter before the div tag. And then I'm going to take the close main and I'm going to hit enter for that. And what I want you to do, I got some extra spaces there, so I delete it. Is I want the word main opening and the main closing to all be left aligned. So notice how they're sitting on the edge, but then I want div to be indented. And I'm going to take the words main content, I'm going to hit enter, I'm going to have those be indented. And the reason I say this is because for clean coding techniques, for you to know what's going on, for me to know what's going on, for somebody else 10 years down the road to come to this website and know what's going on, the clean coding helps. And I think this is important because you have to recognize that if you go make a website, most likely if you're doing this for a company, you're not going to be the person who comes back and edits it. You're going to be having to give it away to somebody else and they're going to need to be able to edit it. So you want to make sure that it's clean and editable by everybody and that you can actually use it. So that's why we want to edit it clean. That's why we want to make sure that it is readable and we know what's opening and what's closing. So I'm going to go to my header and I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter right before the H1. And then I'm going to go after the H1, I'm going to hit enter, delete my extra spaces, don't really need those. And I'm going to delete this extra tab right here on line 3 so that my header is opening and closing on the left, but my H1 is indented inward and I know it has existed inside that little nesting piece. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and add a little bit more content real quick and look at how it stylizes across one whole semantic element.